Also, this is just my last little tidbit for tonight. I think we have to look at like culture shifters. Like Drake is a really good example here, and every like he's got all these little memos in his like Instagram bio at this point, or in the captions that are like, "I told you this. How could you do this?" And when you didn't understand, it's like all the weird shit that like dudes don't understand. But like, here's another thing: like, women are not a monolith. Like, we don't all have the same perceptions about shit. Like, one girl's boundaries are not like necessarily the next girl's boundaries. Some shit that one woman might find repulsive, another woman might. It also might be community based. Like one culture might think this thing is disrespectful, and another culture might think that every woman is not a monolith. So one weird thing that guys do is they look at their own lived experience and they'll be like, well, this happened in the past with some woman. And they'll try to translate that to all women or most women. So like whatever song that like Drake was making or has made that's referring to some women, that does not apply to all women, doesn't apply to all women like the woman that he was talking. It just doesn't. Okay, it applies to that one chick who he was talking about, and it's only his perception. Like we haven't heard the woman's perspective because I don't think she's writing songs. Maybe she is. I don't know, but we haven't heard the songs, and like we don't know. We don't know. We're only like inferring from one perspective, and I think it's good to see the sensitive side of some guys, but also fuckboy culture is very real. And people like John Mayer, Leonardo DiCaprio, Drake they've just promoted this like single guy life that other men are trying to follow, and it's really bad for society. So like when I made that video that was about Mercedes Allen and her invisible husband, her imaginary husband. Just imagine this. Like, of all the things, like, the whole point of marriage and having that, like, certificate and doing it in the church and having a reception and all of these things is to alert the community in which you live, that, like, we are a union. The baby is coming to into a union. It's not just like this like social media secret of like, hey, this person has a baby with Bobby. The whole we live in a society. The society, if everyone can like if we all continue to do what I do, and like if we all have Finstagrams and double lives and all this shit, society is going to be really bad because for some reason men don't understand that like the shit that they do to like some woman that's not like their daughter individually is somebody else's daughter, and nobody likes that. Like the same way that you would want your daughter to be treated, you need to be treating other people's daughters like that. Niggers don't understand that at all. It's like straight over their head, like it isn't even close. And most poor men also, some understand that, they just literally don't care because like they don't have any sense of community. Like, and there's a lot of stuff about racism that's just really important too. Like, there's a lot of white people who just don't really give a shit about how any black children fare, just because like they don't care about black people at all. So like they could watch a ton of shit, and they have been watching a ton of shit happen to black people, and nobody's wanted to like fix it or make it better because who gives a shit about black people? So that's a real thing. All of those things are happening, but that's why you see certain things in like media and representation propaganda that like promotes white imagery. Oh, we have white women are chaste and all this shit, even though like OnlyFans, pornography, like strippers, all that shit has been major for so long, for the since the beginning of time, but we just needed like social media and the algorithm to like promote. I don't even know. All of it's kind of bullshit, but the point that's really real is like um like you do need to have some parts of society that are like cult, like you do need the traditional family. And what's happening with Mercedes Allen and her imaginary husband, for whatever reason that they don't want to go public but are public, like I would understand if you really want to be like secretive about your entire like pregnancy and shit, just don't even post any photos of like you being pregnant, or be like don't put the baby shower on social media, do shit like that where it's like I don't want you talking about this, like tell everyone there that's a real thing. So then it is not public opinion that you are like pregnant. But if you're posting, it's all very strange because I feel like all women, most women, right? If a woman is literally giving her sharing her womb with some man to like have his child. um she probably at least wants to be acknowledged as like the baby mama or the wife, right? Like what woman wouldn't want that? So on the guy's part, it's kind of disrespectful, and I don't even know, like, that is just so socially unacceptable in like civil society. And it feels like she's a part of civil society, but for some reason like her own morals or standards don't align with that. So she, wherever she's from, and that's why I keep calling them like Holly fucking weirdos, because like that sort of behavior is super acceptable, and all it does is say like it's like side chick politics. That's all it is. It's like women who are just completely fine being baby mamas, side chicks, girlfriends, anything that is just not wife, because like marriage is too much. And it's like a cultural thing. That's the fucking weird part about it. It's a culture. It's not like one girl. She isn't the only one. It's a cultural, it's a societal issue, but I just don't hear enough people talking about how it is a problem and how it like is trickling down. Because and that's the other thing. Like we have all these young men who are looking to like Andrew Tate to try to find some sort of value, because there's like virtually no examples of like other men in their communities, online, anywhere where there's like any sort of like Ben Shapiro is like probably the only in the Daily Wire dudes are like the only dudes who are like married and who are like, yes, we love our wives and our family and we want to promote traditional values. Like all the other guys are sitting here acting like it's like so difficult for them to just pick a fucking girl and then just get married and have a family. It is not that hard. It ain't that hard. Like there are women out here. There are. They just won't, like they like being fuck boys, and they're all the they also they people keep doing these things where they just keep trying to like level up. Like what are people looking for? Like they'll be like, I need to find like someone more attractive, and it's like they'll be like ugly as an ugly motherfucker, and they'll be like, I am trying to find someone more attractive. Like, but you're ugly, sir, and you're broke. Like, why do you think somebody who's attractive is gonna go for you? They're not. They're not. Or it'll be like some guy who's like, I don't know. You just need to find someone who's like in your league and then just be with that person. If that's what just stop. Just stop. Point, just stop. So if you're like super poor and ugly, just go find some girl who's also super poor and ugly and let that be it. If you're like really attractive, go find someone else who's attractive and just be with them. Do that. Like that is what you should do. But don't be like sad or something when you're like grossly unattractive and poor and you like have nothing. I will say, yeah. What is her name? Sadia Khan or something made a really good point of like sometimes really attractive women they like men who like aren't as attractive or maybe aren't as rich because of like they have certain things around personality. They have things that make them like character traits that make them more attractive to women. That's a real thing. That is a very real thing. I don't want to discount that, but yeah, I want to say that. I think the culture is actually what's driving so many people to have so many like relationship issues where they really shouldn't. Like if you really, I don't know, if you really want to be in a relationship, I don't think it's like that hard.